Next, twist the throttle handle several times to be sure it operates freely and returns to idle position when you release it. Squeeze the clutch lever and adjust it if needed. Be sure it operates easily and returns fully to rest position after you release it. Now, you're almost ready to ride. It's time to press the M mode button on your gauge cluster to allow starting the engine by pressing the start button. Check the fuel level on your gauge and make sure you have enough for your needs. Press on your horn to confirm it's working well. Verify that your steering operates freely by turning your handlebars back and forth several times. Next, check that your engine stop switch is working properly. Then, make sure that your low beam and high beam headlights are working properly. Start your engine again and release your parking brake. To ensure that the parking brake is properly removed, verify that the indicator light is off on the multifunction gauge cluster. Now, drive forward slowly a few feet to verify that everything is moving freely and normally. Then apply your brake to test for proper stopping. But before you go on the road, it's very important to become proficient with all of your Spyder Roadster's controls by practicing in a controlled setting. You can do on your own the exercises described in your operator's guide to develop your skills. It's also a very good idea to take a more formal training course to sharpen your skills and increase your knowledge. If you have experience with motorcycles or other motor vehicles, pay particular attention to how Spyder Roadster's operation and performance are different than vehicles you are used to. We will briefly review the recommended training exercises. For more details, watch the training section included in this DVD. First, you need to find a suitable paved area to practice and perform the following exercises. It should be at least 100 feet by 250 feet, or about 30 meters by 75 meters, that is not open to traffic. A closed, well-marked parking lot without obstacles, light poles, curbs, etc., is the best practice area. Once you've selected a suitable location, it's important to gain permission from the owner for you to practice. We will rapidly review together the main exercises you should perform. First, you need to get used to the throttle response by revving up the engine a few times and use the engine stop switch. The next exercise is to learn about the friction zone and engagement of the transmission using the clutch lever. Now that you can start your vehicle, you should learn to use the engine stop switch while running. This is to get familiar with the use of this switch at any time. The next step is to get more familiar with the use of the throttle in first gear. Learn how the vehicle reacts when accelerating slowly. The next exercise is similar to the last one, except that you will need to perform while turning. It's important here to understand the reaction of the vehicle when you use the steering. The next step is very important because you also need to get used to your brake. Pressing on the brake pedal firmly while running will help you feel the braking force of your Spyder Roadster. Do it at low speed first, and then increase speed. Now it's time to practice the waves path with your vehicle. This is to practice the steering control and to maintain yourself on the vehicle. The next exercise is about shifting up and shifting down. Here you will learn about changing gears using the clutch lever, the gear selector, and the throttle handle. Also get familiar with the use of the lower gears to decelerate your vehicle. The next one is to swerve around an obstacle to get used to this quick maneuver. The last one is to use the reverse. After you learn to operate all of the controls proficiently, you'll want to take Spyder Roadster on the road. Of course, you'll need a proper license, and you'll need to follow all the normal rules of the road. But when you are riding, there are some additional strategies you should use to reduce your risk on the road. Like with a motorcycle, defensive riding is crucial. As well documented in Motorcycle Safety Foundation publications called MSF, here are some important tips you should know. You need to stay alert at all times. Never stop watching your surroundings, including the area behind you. Always scan for potential hazards, plan ahead, and leave space and time to avoid trouble. Do not assume other motorists will see you or follow the rules of the road. You should always leave at least 2 seconds following distance between you and the vehicle in front of you when operating under ideal riding conditions. Motorists tend not to see smaller vehicles like motorcycles, therefore you should use strategies to become more visible. Typically, you should position your Spyder Roadster in the center of the lane. This position keeps the front wheels in the lane. It also provides additional clearance from vehicles in other lanes, reducing wind from large vehicles, and reducing the risk of being struck by vehicles that drive on the edge of their lane. Riders having a car driving background may face the problem of being on the far left portion of the lane. Remember that your body is positioned in the center of your Spyder Roadster as opposed to the left side when driving a car. In fact, when driving a car in the middle of the lane, your body is on the left side of the lane. With your Spyder Roadster, your body should be located in the middle of the lane since you are driving from the center of the vehicle. You have to be similarly careful on your Spyder Roadster when passing another vehicle to ensure that your right front wheel is fully clear of that vehicle. You can move to the left or right part of the lane to avoid hazards, keep distance from other vehicles, or handle curves. You can also move to the left or right part of the lane to get a better view or to be seen by other vehicles. Because of the center seat position and width, it may be harder to see around traffic, even when you are near the edge of the lane. You may need a greater following distance behind wide or tall vehicles. Avoid putting your wheel outside of the lane to see around traffic. In order for drivers ahead of you to see you, you must be able to see their mirrors. When you are being followed by a large vehicle, passing vehicles may not be able to see you easily if you are not in the left part of the lane. The Spyder Roadster is designed to carry the operator, one passenger, and cargo. Don't carry a passenger until you have experience riding along in a variety of conditions and can proficiently handle your vehicle. Refer to the label on the left side of your Spyder Roadster to find its total weight limit. This includes the weight of the operator, the passenger, any cargo, and accessories. Heavier riders need to be particularly aware of the weight limit. Never allow more than one passenger, even if the total weight would be under the limit. The passenger must be able to reach the passenger pegs and handholds, maintain balance, and hold on, and not distract the operator. Be sure the passenger is properly attired. The passenger should wear all of the protective gear recommended for the operator, particularly a helmet. A full face helmet is recommended. In a sudden stop, the passenger's face can strike the back of the operator's helmet. Have the passenger mount from the left to avoid contact with the muffler. Keep the brakes applied and the transmission in neutral until the passenger has signaled that he is ready to go. Before starting out, instruct the passenger to grab the handhold and keep their feet on the foot pegs at all times. Watch the road, lean into curves, brace for bumps, and never touch the parking brake pedal. Do not exceed the weight limits for riders and cargo. Overloading will make accelerating, braking, and turning more difficult, reduce the effectiveness of the VSS, potentially increase the risk of rolling over if the weight is high or toward the rear, reduce ground clearance, and increase the risk of tire failure. You won't be able to stop as quickly with the maximum weight on board as you could without this weight. You should increase the following distance between your vehicle and the one in front of you. This should be at least 3 seconds following distance. Use an even longer distance if riding conditions are not ideal. Never tow vehicle or trailer with your Spyder Roadster unless explicitly approved by BRP. So that concludes our review of the important safety information that you need to know before enjoying your Spyder Roadster on the road. Thanks for your time.